Very good, friends. Hi, Doc South here. Boy, I got something for you. It's my wife, Sandy, bless her heart. You know, she's always out. Let me just adjust this just a little bit. There you go. She's always out selling at flea markets. She goes to auctions, garage sales, picks up the stuff, gets what she figures to be a bargain, then, flea markets and such. And tomorrow, tomorrow being the 24th of February, she's going to be over in Montague at a church. Let's see, it's St. Thomas Church. They're having evidently a garage sale or a flea market there, and she's going to sell a few things. But I was looking through some of the stuff, and she has the coolest thing. On my way to work every day. In fact, I'm thinking one day of doing a book on my ride to work because I ride through a very historical part of Northwest New Jersey. I ride from just west of Hackettstown out to Route 31, up to Route 46. Consult your maps, yeah. And along the Delaware River. All this is very, very old and interesting. It's a very interesting part of the country when you get down to it and start digging in. A lot of stuff happened. And one thing I pass on the way to work, to the supermarket I work at in Blairstown, yeah. There's this. You can see it if the leaves are off the trees and it's not too foggy. You can see this huge viaduct, and it was once part of a very interesting part of railroad history, an area known as the Lackawanna Cutoff. It was a big, long, basic straightaway that ran through a very hilly part of North Jersey. It was rough to build it, but once it was done, it cut all sorts of time off the run from Buffalo to New York. And it saved a lot of fuel and all that. It was probably a worthwhile project. Those of you who live in North Jersey, you've seen the viaduct. There's the viaduct, yes, but the Lackawanna Cutoff. Basically, it's like this big, long, straight hill, all sorts of tunnels. I don't think there's any crossings. It's all either go over it or under it. And it was fascinating. A bit of history, railroad history. Well, the viaduct, I can see this big multiple arched bridge made out of concrete, and trains went over it, right and left, freight trains and all that. It's still there. It's in pretty good shape for as old as it is. I imagine if they ever put railroad traffic back on it, they'd probably have to spiff it up a bit, make sure everything's okay. But it's the basic thing, as near as I know, will be standing long after any of us are gone. And it would probably take train traffic nicely. In any case, Sandy found these postcards that were provided by the Friends of the Morris Canal. They're probably reproductions, but that's okay. They're still very cool. And I just wanted to show you what was involved. The viaduct here, I'll show you what it kind of looked like. This is probably a picture of it as it was almost done. Okay, do you see it? Yeah. Now, that bridge is probably from the bottom of the river, or from the river rather, from its bottom, the bridge's bottom, up to the top. That's got to be over 100 feet. It's got to be. You can actually go right up next to it. You go down from Route 46, you go to Route 94. You travel on Route 94, I'd say about 4 miles or so to the town of Johnsonburg, and you'll see a road. Johnsonburg's just this little hamlet. Blink your eyes, you're through it. And but I think just before you get into Johnsonburg, there's a road. It's sort of a one-lane bridge, steel bridge, and I think it's Station Road. Yeah, Station Road. And you just go in there about a half a mile to a mile, and you'll actually go under the viaduct, and it's impressive. By the way, they don't suggest you go up there. You could fall. There every now and then someone gets stuck on the thing or whatever. Yeah, it's not a jungle gym. It's to be admired, but probably not the world's greatest idea to go up there. I know the rescue squad in Blairstown says they're always going up there to get fish someone off the darn thing. Let's see. But see, now that's what it looked like when it was almost done. Okay. Concrete arches. I guess reinforced concrete, I'm assuming. I assume. I don't, maybe it's just plain old concrete, just really good concrete. But I would imagine they probably put reinforcing rods in it. I would think they knew. But here, look. Now here's when they were just starting it. I'll try to keep the glare off it. But look down here, all those timbers. Those timbers looked like they might be about 50, 60 feet long. You see what they're doing? What they're doing is making one of the arches. Do you see the cranes they have? Now they're like wooden cranes as near as I can tell from looking at them. So they had to use these really wild timbers, and I guess they're stockpiling them over there in a field nearby, and they built one arch. Now that's not the arch, that's the form to pour the concrete. Here, look, now they got two of them put together. Okay, see them? And then down here is the base of the arch. Very important part, that holds the arch together, that, and then one over here, and then one over here, and then the concrete up and over it. Pretty soon, I guess the laws of physics take over. But look, you remember all those timbers? Look at how they're all now being used to make that rounded arch. Huh? Okay. And notice too, these little, I'm assuming these are cranes of some sort that are probably going to be used to support whatever buckets they use to get that concrete in there. I imagine once you start pouring concrete on this, you don't dare stop. Now look, there's a whole bunch of them now, of those arches, those arch forms spanning the river. Now, also they got a river to deal with under there. Yeah. And I would imagine, boy, it had to take guts. There were probably guys woke up in the morning and knew they were going to spend the whole darn day up on the top of that arch working. Heaven help you if you slip. Huh? I don't know if there were casualties building it's called the Paulinskill Viaduct. The river going underneath is the Paulinskill. It's actually a very good fishing stream, good for canoeing and all that. Okay, now, this, I'm assuming, again, I wasn't there, but here they've made if you look, they've made the arches, okay, they've made the arch forms, and it looks like they're working on getting a way to get that concrete moved over them and poured in between. It looks to me like they would pour it in between the arches and just keep going up and up and up with all kinds of forms. And again, you've just got to keep doing it. And you'll notice here too, they're working on an upper of another formation of the bridge that will evidently sit on top of the arch, centered on top of the arch, and eventually the railroad bed will go over that. Okay, here's one more. I don't know. I would have liked to have seen this, although, man, I don't know. I think I'd have been chicken to work on it. I tell you the truth. I don't like heights that much. They could have me down in the caisson there pushing the cement around. I'd be all right there. But, okay, yeah, here. I think if you look real close, you can see, yeah, do I have it here? Yeah. You can see, I think there, it looks like almost like a high tension line. Well, that's not. That's probably a cable, a supported cable that probably the cement went back and forth, the buckets went back and forth. You can see the Paulinskill down in here, and of course, looks like they've taken out all the forms. Once they built the arch, yeah, huh? Neat. What else here? Oh my gosh. Oh, here's more of those arches made. Again, hard to, I apologize, but I don't think I could photograph these and have them come up any better. But you see, there's, looks like the arches are relatively formed. That or they're working on, they've got the concrete in between the uprights for the arches, and they're probably working on developing a way to get the concrete over the top of the arch. Again, and you can see all the different cranes, and Again, that lumber. Well, when they were all done, this is what it looked like. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. God. And trains that roll over that thing as high up as it was, they'd be moving, what, probably 80, 90 miles an hour. Just steam locomotives boiling through there. And that was built around, I think, again, I don't know exact, and forgive me if I'm wrong, Lackawanna Cutoff Committee, but I think that had to be around the early 1900s, like 1904, something like that. And it's still there. Now, it's not as spiffy and new like it once was, but it's still there. And I guess up till, what, maybe 10, 15 years ago, no, maybe 20 years ago, I think there were trains that would, on occasion, go over it. Yeah. And they're talking about maybe getting that to happen again. Oh, and you can see, well, it's very faded. They're off in the distance there, but up there, you can see the Delaware Water Gap right up there. Huh? Neat. Anyway, I thought you'd like to see those. I don't know. That kind of stuff just drives me nuts. When you're when you're working at your at your computer, which is fine. That's not easy work either. It takes a lot of skill. But boy, think back to what maybe 120 years ago, what you'd have been doing for work. Hey, throw some more cement over here. Well, give me that I-beam up here right now. Come on. Hey, you guys start tugging on it. Yeah, you're pulling it up with a darn rope or something. Huh? I know. Oh, my gosh. Oh. And steam locomotives were no picnic to run, too. It was pretty cool to know how to do it. But a steam locomotive is basically a bomb on wheels, and it's doing 90 miles an hour. Yeah, I don't know. Oh my gosh. Anyway, pretty cool. I thought you'd like that. So, okay, friends. Well, I'm going to sign off for now. But again, it's basically Route 46. You're heading up towards the Water Gap. You'll see Route 94. This is all in Northwest New Jersey. Look, consult your maps. You'll see Route 94. You take Route 94. I guess it's going east. Yeah, it's east or north. And about 4 or 5 miles from Route 46, you'll see Johnsonburg. I think it is Johnsonburg. And there's this little road off to the right called Station. I think it's called Station Road. And you cross over that 1-lane bridge. Don't be a road hog. If someone else is coming, don't get on because you're not going to make it. Okay. One of you is going in the drink. But you cross the Paulinskill. I believe yes, that is the Paulinskill. And you'll cut off to the right. You go down, I'd say about a half mile, and that bridge is there. You'll see it. And it is impressive. Okay. Anyway, I thought I'd say thank you and God bless. Bye now.